suspect!
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Film Archives. In today's episode, we have a breakdown of the iconic Scream 96. So be sure to grab your Halloween candy because Scream is one wild ride from start to finish. Let's get into it. Our movie kicks off in the small town of Woodsboro, California. And first up, we meet Casey Becker, who is a high school student played by Drew Barrymore. The film kicks off with her at home, just popping some corn.
Popcorn.
When she suddenly gets a call from a mysterious stranger. The phone rings and we get a slightly funny and rather flirtatious conversation that soon escalates. Casey soon realizes that she's in way over her head.
Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
I lied! I do have a boyfriend!
Casey's fate takes a dark turn when she realizes that she's in way over her head, leading to one of the most shocking openings in cinema history. And spoiler alert, she doesn't make it. But hey, her boyfriend Steve is also a casualty, so bye Steve, goodbye, goodbye, yay, good job. Due to the Ghostface murder, the news and the media just descends upon the small town of Woodsboro, California, as the police investigate the murder and an all-out shit show begins. We then meet Sydney, our final girl in training. Troubled past? Check. Tragic mother's murder? Check. Shady boyfriend Billy Loomis, who's sketchy AF? Check. Yeah, we're off to a pretty strong start here. We find out that Sidney Prescott's father, Neil, is traveling for work, so Sydney waits at her house for her best friend Tatum to come pick her up. Sydney then receives a phone call from a mysterious stranger.
What's your favorite scary movie?
She is then attacked by Ghostface, who disappears just before her sketchy AF boyfriend, Billy Loomis, climbs right through her window. So he's creeping in her window, climbing in at night. It's super sketchy, bro. Super sketchy. However, Sidney Prescott immediately grows suspicious and thinks that Billy Loomis is pretty sus when an old-ass 90s cell phone just so happens to drop out of his pocket.
Nope.
Billy Loomis is then arrested by the deputy sheriff, Dewey, who is Tatum's brother. And Dewey is a real dipshit. We then enter Gale Weathers, with a fashion sense so good it will make you want to scream. Is that? You see what I did there? You see what I did there? Nah. So at the police station, Sydney is confronted by Gale Weathers, who actually wrote a book claiming that her mother had multiple affairs and was cheating on her husband. Gale actually thinks that the Ghostface killer that was responsible for the most recent murder also murdered Sydney's mother. So this is a real whodunit situation, like, whodunit? Sydney then stays at her best friend Tatum's house, who has the room of a 12-year-old girl. It is here where she receives another taunting call from the killer.
Like you fingered the wrong guy.
So maybe it's not Billy Loomis? No, it's Billy Loomis. Shortly after his release, Billy sees Sydney at school and further just gaslights her by comparing the absence of his mother to her mother's death. And yeah, this dude is a real master gaslighter, dude. It's gas pedal, gas pedal. Sydney is briefly attacked by the Ghostface in her disgusting school bathroom, and it's honestly foul. Like, the janitor who works here, what is he doing? Come on, come on. However, she easily evades the killer due to her ninja perk and her final girl training. Due to the recent Ghostface killing, the principal of the school decides to suspend classes, which I'm not sure he's able to do that, but it's fine. The principal, who is afraid of his own reflection, quite literally, winds up getting murdered in his office at the school, so. Fun fact, there's actually a quick cameo shot of the director of this movie, Wes Craven, who appears as Fred, the janitor, who's clearly not cleaning those bathrooms, but this is an homage to the iconic horror character, Freddy Krueger, so. I thought this little bit was pretty neat. You know, it's pretty nifty. So as a way to celebrate the suspension of classes and the temporary closure of the school, we see Stu Macher, who is played by Matthew Lillard, Tatum's boyfriend, host a party at his secluded farmhouse, which, this guy's ballin', bro. It's insane. And honestly, Stu Macher is such a goated character. Like, all of his lines and all of his dialogue are just straight gas, bro. Like, it's hilarious.
Schizo is easy.
The way this fool talks, bro, is insane. Like, he has legitimate brain rot. We then get a brief scene with our character, Randy, who is played by Jamie Kennedy, while he's working at the video store.
Watch it, jerk.
So, This is pre-streaming services, folks. Just the late 90s vibes are straight ballin'. Like, they're straight up sick. It's just the late 90s vibe, bro. Jamie Kennedy's character, Randy, actually suspects that Billy Loomis is the killer. And this dude, Stu Macher, just claps back at Randy, and he be straight tripping out on him at work, and this causes Randy to get super upset, and he starts straight tripping at work, and he winds up screaming that everyone is a suspect.
Everybody's a suspect!
And everybody at his work just kind of looks at him. It's pretty funny. Dewey, who still lives with his moms, and Tatum, is told by his boss, who is the police captain, that they were able to trace the calls from the Ghostface killer back to Sidney Prescott's father's cell phone. So they linked it back to her father, Neil's phone. So the plot thickens. However, the police are unable to locate him.
And like that, he's gone.
Dipshit Deputy Dewey and Gale Weathers decide to keep an eye out on the party that Stu Macher is throwing, just in case the Ghostface killer strikes again, which we all know is gonna happen, because he'd be stalking and creeping right in the woods nearby the house. It's crazy. We then get one of the best scenes in the entire movie, and I'm pretty sure we all know why. Tatum goes to get more beers from the fridge in the garage. Gotta have more beers. And she winds up getting killed by Ghostface. Tatum attempts to go through the pet door that's attached to their garage door, and Ghostface just raises it on her and kills her. And I'm not really sure this is actually possible, but it was creative. Regardless, this is the best scene in the movie. The rest of the group in the party, including Randy, Stu Macher, and Sidney, are all watching scary movies, and they're watching the original Halloween, which is pretty dope, and I just did a breakdown of that original movie, so if you haven't seen that video, you should definitely go back and check it out. I promise it's a banger. This is when our movie starts getting even more fire than it already was. We see Billy Loomis arrive at Stu Macher's house in order to reconcile and kind of apologize to his girlfriend, Sidney Prescott, and they even finally have sex. Right after they finish, they are suddenly attacked by the Ghostface killer, and we see that Billy Loomis is stabbed. Sidney, however, winds up evading the Ghostface killer. Of course, she's the final girl. Her ninja skills are S tier, brother, S tier. As Sidney evades Ghostface, he chases her down and winds up killing Gale Weathers' cameraman in the process. And he even manages to stab Dewey in the back. Gale, who sees this and attempts to just dip out in the van, accidentally crashes and is knocked unconscious. So she's now useless. At this point, Sidney decides to run back into Stu Macher's house and lock the door in order to call for help. She winds up even locking Stu Macher and Randy outside because she thinks that either one of them could be the Ghostface killer. Alright, we're at all-time peaks of gas here at this point. We see a wounded Billy Loomis tumble down the stairs, and he takes the gun from Sidney. He then allows Randy inside the house before he shoots him in the shoulder, revealing that we all go a little crazy sometimes.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
And also revealing that he himself is the killer. But wait! There's more! His best friend Stu Macher is actually his accomplice in the murders. Stu Macher literally has brain rot from playing too much Fortnite. Just listen to this shit.
It was fun.
So stupid. It's honestly great though. It is quite fire. Billy then confesses that him and Stu actually killed Sidney's mother, all because they discovered that she was actually having an affair with Billy's father, which ultimately led to Billy's mother leaving him and abandoning him. So the mommy issues are real, brother. They're real. They also reveal that they abducted Sidney's father, Neil, in order to frame him and take the fall for the murders. It's insane. Billy Loomis and Stu Macher then stab each other in order to make it look like they survived a Ghostface attack. And this scene will forever live rent-free in my head, like until the day I die. It's just so iconic.
I'm ready, baby!
However, as they are stabbing each other, they are interrupted by Gale's heroic return, which is basically for nothing because Billy just knocks her out, and it's pretty sad stuff. However, this allows Sidney just enough time to incapacitate Billy Loomis using an umbrella. And she also had time to put on the Ghostface costume, which was gangster AF. She then manages to even kill Stu Macher by dropping one of those old ass television sets right on top of the head. It's crazy, bro. Pretty freaking gory too, man. Like, can you imagine having a big ass old TV just smushing your head? No, thank you. It's gonna be a no for me, dog. Billy Loomis then nearly stabbed Sidney Prescott, but he is shot by Gale Weathers. So thank goodness for Deputy Dewey's gun. Like, he himself is useless, but his gun is the real hero here, guys. As Gale, Randy, and Sidney all stand over Billy Loomis's body, Randy makes a comment that all horror film killers revive for a final scare. And of course, Billy Loomis makes a final attempt at lunging towards Sidney, but Sidney kills him by shooting him in the head with the Deputy Dewey's gun. So again, Dewey's gun is the real hero here. A bit later, the next morning, we see that Sidney's dad, Neil, is actually rescued, and that Deputy Dewey, who was stabbed in the back, is being taken away in an ambulance. Gale Weathers then goes live, giving a news report about the previous night's events, revealing the truth of the Ghostface killings. We then fade to black. The movie ends! So, is Scream 96 worth watching? This movie is a certified hood classic, and I don't think people realize just how important this movie is. If you haven't seen it, you're honestly doing yourself an injustice. Before you go to sleep tonight, before you go trick-or-treating, while you're trick-or-treating, put this video on and then go stream the movie, because you're not going to regret it. I promise you, this movie is better than you remember, and if you haven't seen it, this movie is better than you think it is. There's a reason it spawned an entire franchise of Scream movies. I'm even going to go as far to say that this is actually probably one of my favorite slasher movies ever made. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If you liked the video, remember to hit that thumbs up button, and if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel. I upload videos just like this one every week. Much love to all of you. I hope you all have a happy Halloween, and until next time, peace out. See you in the next one. Bye. Yo, let's bring it back to 96 when Ghostface hit the scene, pulling crazy tricks, a knife in hand with a mask so white, haunting the town, creeping through the night. Casey on the phone, chilling with the cone, but a deadly calls where her night got torn. What's your favorite scary movie? He spits before slashing and dashing, leaving fear in bits. Sidney Prescott, she's the queen of the show, with a past full of pain, she's ready to go. Billy Loomis looking shady on the side, plotting with Stu on this deadly ride. Tatum in the garage meets her end in style, crushed by the door, this flick ain't mild. Gale Weathers on the scoop, rocking neon hues, reporting the chaos, breaking all the news. But Ghostface slices through, it's a deadly scene. Party ass Stu's where the bloodbath starts. Teens breaking rules, tearing hearts apart. Billy and Stu, the big reveal's a twist. Motive so dark, they just can't resist. Sidney fights back, our heroine stands tall, taking down killers, hearing their fall. Kale reports live with the front row seat. Scream 96, a horror movie treat.